ye should show forth the praises of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in past times were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Oh, praise God, praise God. We are a called out people. We are chosen instruments to accomplish God's purpose, because God has given us a purpose. He didn't just bring us into existence, but he brought us into existence with a purpose. Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus. My brothers and sisters, you are not a mistake. You are not a mistake. You have been chosen before the foundation. You know what? Just like I heard Dr. Miles Monroe said that God begins, he's already finished a thing, and then he begins. Because the Bible says that we were chosen before the foundation of time. So if we was chosen before the foundation of time, that means that we were already finished. God had oh my goodness, God had already made plans for us. He chosen us. You know, he already had plans for you, for me, and for each and every one of us. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that God chose us. Haggai 2:23 says, in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, saith the Lord, and will make thee as a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord of hosts. It is so blessed to be chosen by God and to be used as a tool by God. See, a tool is something that you can use to finish something or to make something into something else that is glorious. I'm so glad that God chose us. I'm so glad that God chose me. I'm so glad that he chose you for such a time as this, that we might be on this earth to proclaim liberty to those that are captive, and to be able to use and to be used by God, that we might help someone look to the hills from which cometh their help. For their help comes from God who made heaven and earth. What a mighty God we serve, brothers and sisters. You are not a mistake. You are a masterpiece, and that makes you a piece of the master. So remember, whatever you're tied up in, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS. He loves you.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, you're listening with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Ask Your Neighbor on this Monday morning. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Nice of you to be along here with us. Today, we're talking about, it's hard to believe it's already rolling back around, but what is this, your 6th or 5th resource?
It is
Festival,
the
Amanda.
6th in 7 years, skipping one for COVID.
The Anderson County, it's what? The Anderson County Resource Fair? Is that what we're
Anderson
calling
County
it?
Community Resource Fair.
Well, fantastic. So how's everything been going, getting ready for this? Have you started getting in a rhythm now that you've done 6 of them?
Yes, it's actually getting a good bit easier, which I'm grateful for. Just because I, like you say, I'm getting in the rhythm. But helping agencies are starting to sign up a little bit faster, and so that makes me have to do a little less legwork and making phone calls and getting folks to sign up and to be aware of it.
Getting people on board, it's getting easier.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's helpful, yeah.
For folks that don't know, you bring in vendors or I guess just people that provide resources to help. And even if you listen, you don't need them, if you know where to send somebody, because we all have had friends or family members or whatever that run into some kind of crisis. And this just gives everybody the resources that they need to know who can help.
Yes, absolutely. The criteria for being a vendor, for having a table, is just anyone that provides some kind of benevolent helping service to Anderson County residents. So sometimes that's a sliding scale charge or free service to the public. And so I call them helping agencies, set up tables. We usually have about 90 agencies to set up tables. They provide information to the public and freebies. And, it's a day of free food and free kids activities and door prizes. And so, a lot of fun, but also a lot of information for anybody that is in need of services. It's a golden opportunity to be able to meet those face to face, not have to deal with phone calls and leaving messages. But also, like you say, for anybody that happens to know anybody that, we may think, I don't need to come to the Anderson County Community Resource Fair because I don't need anything right now. Why should I come? But we all, for one, we never know when one job loss, one house burnout, one diagnosis will put us away from needing some resource from our community. So it's good to have that knowledge, but also we all know somebody, a neighbor, a friend, and an aging relative, that needs something, and so we can help find those resources to be able to better connect to them. And it was really born out of this idea that I was getting frustrated because all of the needs that I saw approaching us at the church. Yeah. And I realized that I don't have enough time, skill, energy, knowledge. I'm just not enough for the needs that I see presented. And really neither is our church or any one entity. Sure. But I really believe that if we come together and we learn what each other does, and we network together and make good referrals to each other, I believe that we can help everybody in need in Anderson County. And so it's always very heartwarming to see the agencies coming together and realize, I didn't realize that you did this and you provide this. Well, goodness, next time I have somebody, I'm going to send them to you.
I was getting ready to say, it's probably good for them, too, to network with each other and learn what each other does to send people to them. Absolutely. How many agencies are you going to have participating this year?
So far, we have about 87, and we still have a couple of weeks out. So there's usually some late comers, usually a couple to drop, too. So I'm thinking we're going to be back up right about 90 we were last year. Okay. And that's, I'm putting on the brakes. I'm not doing much more recruiting actively just because I don't know where we fit that many, on the gym floor. And I'm trying to keep it not being too crowded so it's not too overwhelming. But I think that we've kind of maxed out in our building. We've built this event, and so now the question for me is how do we make it meaningful, and how do we still make it, how do we take advantage of it? Basically, because you walk in, and if you try to get around to all the tables, as sometimes I do, just to greet everybody, it becomes very kind of a little overwhelming. It's like drinking from a fire hose to be able to get that much information. But I really think that we just it's a wonderful thing to have so many helping agencies. We just have to kind of think, what do I need? Is there something I need? Maybe whether it's a resource, or maybe I need involvement. Maybe I need some meaningful connection, or I need a place to be able to donate some of my finances. What do I need? And then ask yourself, well, what do my neighbors need? Is there somebody else that that I know that is in need? Then maybe what do the helping agencies need? These people work tirelessly to help folks in need, and they really are the soldiers on the front lines in a lot of ways in our community. Maybe I just need to go up to a few tables and say thank you, you know, and just see how they're doing. Or, you know, maybe it's what does my community need? But asking these kind of questions will help us narrow down what we try to organize the floor in terms of what services. So veteran services in one area, education, mental health, animal services, children's services, elderly, all kinds of things. And so you can kind of look on the floor map and say, let me go spend my time here, or I'm going to pick out these agencies and see what they have to offer. All else fails, just pick 5 or 10 of them, learn about them. Next year, pick 5 or 10 more and learn about them. And I think the beauty, I know I've said it before, but for me is that I think if we all come and we learn about the resources, then we become like walking resource fairs in our community. So
absolutely. So if you do nothing more than pick up a business cards that you have to refer somebody and say, well, they do this, they can help you. That's a lot more than most people can do.
Absolutely.
How many? You've already said you're going to have about 90, but how many? Let me ask you this: Do you have any circumstances that have been served out of the resource fairs that we've conducted in the past, that you all have done in the past? Have you seen some of those results come back?
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
A lot of feedback from the agencies saying that our community really needs this. We needed a chance to, learn and meet folks face to face, because sending emails, you feel like you know people, but not really. But then when you meet them face to face and you see how friendly they are, they're like, I'll just text you next time I need you, and your work becomes more efficient. But I was listening to somebody just the other day talking about how somebody stopped at a table and they were setting up new apartment living for, I can't remember what exactly the resource was, but they said, we're trying to help folks in need with this housing situation, but we have nothing furnished. And they left. They came back and they were given pots and pans, and they were given forks and all kinds of things. So I think that, and each year there's little stories that I hear. I'm a little chaotic on that day, but I hear people afterwards coming back, to tell me about the different things that came of the day. So it's always encouraging.
If you want, I don't know if you want to tell everybody that's going to be there, but if you would like to tell at least maybe some of the categories and stuff, or you can tell everybody if you want to. We got all the time you want to take, but let folks know some of the resources that'll be there, some of the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I can go through them all, but it is so far the ones that are signed up this year.
Okay.
But it's a lot. Would you prefer me just to whittle it down?
However you want to do it. I'm completely okay with it either way that you'd like to do it, because I think, I want people to know who's going to be there, because you never know who needs what.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'll read them real quick.
Okay.
This is the agencies that have signed up so far. ADFAC, that's Aid for Distressed Families of Anderson County, Appalachian Community, sorry.
Yeah.
East Tennessee Adult Education, ADVO Kids, Alcoholics Anonymous, Anderson County American Legion Post 172, American Museum of Science and Energy Foundation,
cool.
American Red Cross, Animal Services of Anderson County, Allies for Substance Abuse Prevention of Anderson, Big Brothers Big Sisters of East Tennessee, Boys and Girls Club of Anderson County, Brain Injury Services Coordination, Canterfield of Oak Ridge, CASA of the Tennessee Heartland, that's court-appointed special assistance or something like that, Cedar Recovery, Chasing Wellness Chiropractic, Children's Museum of Oak Ridge, Choices Resource Center, the Christian Service Center of First Baptist Church of Clinton, that's the food pantry and clothing ministry.
Yes, ma'am.
Clarvita, Community Advisory Board of Anderson County, Compassionate Acts Ministry of First Baptist Church of Clinton, Contact Care Line, Cornerstone of Recovery, Dental Clinics of Anderson County, Disability Rights Tennessee, the Ecumenical Storehouse, that's furniture and household items and things, Emory Valley Center, ETHRA, Anderson County Expungement Clinics, Anderson County Family Justice Center, Fire Department of Clinton, Fire Department of Marlow, First Baptist Church of Clinton, Free Medical Clinic of Oak Ridge, Goodwill Industries, Grandparents as Parents, Habit, which is human-animal bond in Tennessee, therapy dogs and such.
Okay.
Anderson County Health Department, Health Markets, Holiday Bureau, Hope Animal Assisted Crisis Response, Hope of East Tennessee, Hoskins Drugstore, Housing Authority of Oak Ridge, Humana, Isaiah 117 House of Anderson County, East Tennessee Kidney Foundation, Legal Aid Society, Anderson County Libraries, Clinton Lions Club, the McNabb Anderson County Clinic, McNabb Center Domestic Violence Program, Medicare Insurance Information, Methodist Family Medicine Clinic, Methodist Medical Center Volunteer Services, National Alliance on Mental Illness, Norris Area Food Pantry, Pellissippi State Community College, Remote Area Medical Telehealth Team, Ravita Recovery Centers, Ridgeview, River Valley Health, which is now what Cherokee is called. Cherokee Health Systems rebranded in their River Valley Health. Roan State Community College, Rocky Top Behavioral Health Hospital, Second Harvest Food Pantry, Anderson County Senior Center and Office on Aging, St. Joseph Catholic Church of Norris, Student Services of Anderson County Schools, Student Services of Clinton City Schools, Tennessee Valley Coalition for the Homeless, Together Podemos, Torch, which is Tennessee Outreach for Homeless, Trauma Survivors Network, United Way of Anderson County, University of Tennessee College of Nursing, UT Hospice, Veterans of Foreign War Post 12051, Anderson County, Veterans Service Office of Anderson County, the Waters of Clinton, Xander's Place, and the YWCA of Knoxville and Tennessee Valley.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
But that's good, though. I mean, a wide range. And I was just making notes here while you were talking. Like you spoke about Ram's telehealth. Anybody can use that, can't they?
Yeah.
That's a really cool outreach. In addition to the outreach that RAM already does when they come and set up, they'll do telehealth for people, which is really cool.
I'm glad you mentioned that because our church, often hosts the big RAM clinics, dental, vision, and medical. But that's a lot of doing, and we can only do it every 2 or 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
But we're looking for a way to partner with RAM, maybe a little bit more on an ongoing basis with a little bit of lighter workload, and they have made these telehealth buses that come, and so we've become a site for the RAM telehealth bus to come set up and provide free medical to the community. And so that's anybody, whether I stub my toe at work and need to go outside and get a bandage, or maybe somebody at our daycare picks up a kid and they pick them up early because they're sick, they can run there. Somebody maybe needing a refill of prescription, or a bandage change, like I say, wound care, really all kinds of things. You get the flu, you get a cold, you can go there. And so they're going to be there once a month in our parking lot, and it looks like it'll be the first Tuesday of every month. They're starting this coming Tuesday, I believe it is, yes.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow, that'll be their first time. There's a block party going on there, and so they're kind of kicking off there. It's the Charles Severs Towers is putting that on, though.
Okay.
But, for the folks in the kind of blocks area around them. But they'll be in our parking lot starting tomorrow, and then I think they're going to skip September, and they're going to start back regular in October, being there once a month. And so we hope folks will take advantage of that.
What are the hours they're going to be there?
It's going to vary depending on when they get get doctors and nurses volunteer availability. Okay. But on this coming Tuesday, it'll be from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock that they'll be there. And
if you get a chance, just if you don't care, shoot me an email and remind me, and I'll put it on our bulletin board each month with the times and stuff to let people know. So it's kind of like a mini RAM, right?
Sort of, except it doesn't have dental and vision. But at least my hope, they're working on developing a dental trailer, and of course they've got the vision trailer, and so I think they're working towards being able to just show up in an open parking lot and set up, and then be able to do a full-scale clinic. And so hopefully eventually we'll get to host the dental trailer.
That's cool.
But for now it's the medical. And so basically you go in and there's a nurse on site. And so there's a big bus, and they have 2 separate rooms that they can see patients. There's another bus with 1, I think. But you go in and the doctor's on a TV screen.
That's cool.
And you talk to them, and then the nurse is there to do any physical things like wound care, bandages, or just taking your temperature and blood pressure, things like that need to be done. But that's how it
That's a great outreach. It really is. I mean, RAM, like you said, it's a huge undertaking, but man, it's amazing how many people need it. And use it. So
we're hoping the community will take advantage of it.
Have you had a good response from the community with people coming out? I mean, obviously you've had a great response from people that provide these services, but what about the community coming out and getting involved?
Yeah, I think every year I'm seeing folks that I don't know, coming through, and more folks coming through. So I think that as our maybe tenure, you might say, of being there, the longer we're there, the more folks we see coming out and taking advantage of it. And so that's great. I think it's a little hard to sell to people, come and get educated in people's busy lives and things like that. Or people are just suspicious of it, like, I don't know what that is, but I think the more the community gets educated about it, and the more helping agencies we have advertising it to their clients. A
very diverse group of agencies, too.
I think the more people will come. We also have other things to try to draw people. Like I said, free food. That's free hot dogs, free hamburgers, free chili dogs, all the fixins and sides. We have free kids activities, kind of like little carnival games and things. And then we're doing door prizes now. And a new development this year is that we're taking 3 of the public housing apartment complex and passing out special flyers to them. And then if they bring the flyer in with the special writing on it, then they can enter it to get a drawing for a $100 Food City gift card. And
that's
so
cool.
We're hoping that that's also some incentive for people to come in, and then they put that in the box, and then they're like, wow, I didn't know all this was here. And then they're able
That's fantastic.
So we're trying different ways to get the word out, but any advertising help anybody wants to do is helpful. And maybe you want to volunteer in advertising. I'm always looking for somebody to help volunteer with, just posting flyers places and putting up banners and things like that. But also, if anybody wants to volunteer, we set up a lot of tables and chairs and the cleanup after the event. There's all kinds of things people can do.
The event's on the 20th, is that correct?
It's August 17th.
Why did I think the
Sunday.
20th?
It's each year. It's always on the third Sunday of August, but that date changes around. So it's Sunday, August the 17th, from 12 to 2:30. In the Family Life Center Gymnasium of First Baptist Church of Clinton. So that's 230 North Charles G.C. Severs Boulevard, Clinton.
Okay, 17th. And, of course, anybody can come. There's not a charge for them to come and participate.
Free event. And so
free event, free food, and a lot of free education. If you get yourself a lot of knowledge of who does what. And like I said, it's really diverse. You go all the way from animal shelters to, medical attention. You got everything covered, seemingly.
Yeah, we really do. And it seems you almost think, well, why don't we whittle it down and specialize? But you realize that when you get into helping folks, that in order to fully help the whole person, you need a lot of different resources.
I was going to say,
for instance, I've worked with folks that are homeless a lot. And so you think, well, they need housing, maybe they need some medical care, or maybe some mental health things. But they often have animals with them, and so where can we get help for the animal while we're trying to put them in housing? So you got animal services.
Things you don't really think of till you're right in the middle of it.
So it really helps to have kind of a one-stop shopping for all your needs, because people are diverse, and so their needs are very diverse. And I ask the helping agencies there, I do a little survey out to them, and I asked them once, would you rather have me cap the number of agencies, and we'll just say every year we've just got 80 tables, and when we get full, we're full, or and the vast majority of them did not want to cap it. They kept wanting to have more. So I don't know if we'll start expanding into the track area around, or I always have a prayer that we'll somehow come into enough money to have a tent, kind of outside one of the parking lots, one of those that you can have the fans or the air conditioning units or whatever in, and kind of be able to expand that way. But until then, we're holding steady, and
it seems
we're
like
trying not to make it too crowded.
Seems like it's growing, and it's something I think the community we need, but we didn't realize we needed. You don't really realize it until you need help or someone needs help, and you don't know where to go or who to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times people have called here, or the radio station. They think we know where everything is. And we don't. Luckily, we can reach out to somebody, whether it be you or somebody, we can reach out to the church or somebody and find out where to get them help. Yeah. But this is a great resource. It's a great thing. I appreciate you doing it. I know it takes a lot of time. If somebody out there would like to volunteer, put up or take down chairs or whatever, how can they get a hold of you, Amanda?
They can, you're fine to email me directly if you want. It's amanda@fbclinton.org. But you can also go to the events website, which is www.acresourcefair.com. And on there, there's a contact form, and it's got an email that also comes into my email address, so you can contact us through that contact form. Okay. But also, if it's something that you want to advertise, there's a page for it's got the flyer, big size poster, and it's got a smaller bulletin insert. Perhaps you want to put them in the bulletins at your church and encourage folks to come. It's got a short promo video, a little bit longer, about 4-minute promo video that you can show maybe at your meeting or what you have coming up. And so you can find a lot of resources on there. There's pictures of the past years and things like that. Mm-hmm. But also, if you'd rather do by phone, you can just call First Baptist Church and they will connect you to me. That's 865-457-9353.
Are there any particular areas of interest that you would like to have represented that we don't? Any resources that you think we need?
Often I wish more job services would be there, because sometimes, people are used to going and finding job fairs. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes folks expect there to be a lot of job services there. And oftentimes express employments will come. Employment agency will come and set up. Right now I was looking, we don't have them signed up just yet. They have expressed interest, so maybe they will. But I'm always trying to get a few more of those. I also always really wish that more churches would participate. And it breaks my heart that being a church, sure, we're not able to really recruit more. But I think that, I don't know, I just think from a Christian perspective, we're all supposed to be in the business of helping our neighbors. What did Jesus say? Loving God and loving your neighbors. And so if we really want to love our neighbors in need, we need to be able to help them meet their needs. And we can't do that alone. Sure. We have to. I think the more we educate ourselves, the more we're able to love our neighbors in need. But it's tough because it's on a Sunday, and so that's a busy day for a lot of churches. And especially some in our community that may go longer, get out more like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Yeah. That's difficult. So I realize that, but we would always very much welcome any church that wants to set up.
Oh,
we always have 2 or 3 or 4 churches that participate, but I think.
We've got a lot of churches in Anderson County.
There are a lot of them, and I think some of them say, well, we're just a small church. We don't have enough money for a food pantry, or we don't have, free daycare for folks, or we don't have anything big like some of these helping agencies have. But I think that's
more reason to be there, so you know who to refer them to if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think also we overlook that there's a spiritual need in our community sometimes. Sometimes people need to be, connected to something, and they need involvement, and they need a community of people that can surround them and encourage them and lift them up.
Sure.
And so people are looking for a place to belong, and sometimes that can be found in a church. Our church went to set up a table at a manufacturing plant in the community. We got invited there, and a lot of the helping agencies, the other ones that were there, came up and they've said, we've never seen a church at an event like this. But we've never thought about it. But why not? It needs it's an area that people need to access. So they were glad that we came, and so it's kind of opened my eyes to realize that it's not just about churches having food pantries or, homeless services or paying people's electric bills, that sometimes it's just being the church, and just being an opportunity for people to belong and find fellowship. So any churches are always welcome. I understand why it's difficult on a Sunday, though.
I remember it's been some time back, we had Torch on here. We brought in some of the folks from Torch, mm-hmm. and they were talking about the need in Anderson County, and it surprised me. The need that we have of homeless folks. And I know that at that time you were working with them, I guess, through the church. Mm-hmm. But is there still, do we still have a lot of homeless folks in the county?
We do a lot, and I think though I haven't talked with Andy from Torchover lately. We talk on an ongoing basis every now and again, but
Sure.
specifically asking him, how's the big picture of homelessness in Anderson County? But from what I would guess, things are trending. They're still trending in that direction. I talked to them this summer, kind of in the heat of the summer, and they had run out of funding they try to keep all families with children in housing and hotels or something like that. And at the time they were out of funding. And so I knew a family with 4 children, so a mom, a dad, and 4 children sleeping in their car, just trying to get by. That's a lot on the kids, especially in the summer. And then they told me, we have 2 or 3 or 4 other families that are sleeping with their children in their car right now. And so that tells me that if we don't have enough to keep the children off of the streets, then we're
got a problem.
We're getting overrun. And really, if you think about it, housing, there's a huge housing problem, and I've talked to several of the different helping agencies, but also the housing authorities and different things. Housing is in high demand, affordable housing particularly.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know a lot of people that they may make a mistake. They have an illness and they fall behind on their rent, and then they're looking at losing their public housing. And once you lose that, where do you go? Where do you apply? Most of the public housings have at least a year or 2 wait list. I've heard that Scott County is less of a wait list, but Knox County, I've known folks to be on there 2, 3, 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Anderson County, I've known folks to be a year or 2, at least. And so, what do you do in the meantime? If you lose your housing for some reason? It's just a really bad situation right now. So I was
going to say, what is the answer to that? Because affordable housing is not just for folks who are homeless, but even for just your general population that works day to day, week to week.
Oh yeah.
Affordable housing is really becoming an issue, not just here, but across the country. It seems like.
Yeah. I wish I had all the answers. I wish I can't build. I can't deal with the zoning. Some of the zoning that keeps some of the more affordable housing. The smaller houses. Out. I'm not a politician in our city, in our county.
I've often wondered if
I can't deal with those type of issues, and I can't build a whole bunch of. I don't have that kind of money, so I don't know.
I've often wondered if a tiny house community would work around here. Seriously, I thought.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea, and that would be something that is much more affordable. As I've understood when I've heard other people ask that question, is that there's zoning against it. That in certain areas. The dwellings have to be above a certain amount of square footage.
Yeah.
And so there may be some policy issues, that we deal with. I don't know that those same ones, would apply in the county, perhaps. I don't know. We'd have to look into the city codes and the ordinances. We have
a advertiser that advertises they can do small houses, and I actually talked to them about it to see what it would cost to do it.
Yeah.
And it's compared to a normal house, it's quite affordable, but it's still quite a bit of money. But I think somewhere out there, if you're listening, somebody might have there you go. There's an entrepreneurial idea for somebody.
And I think too, it comes down to a heart issue, of all of us wanting to love our neighbors, because how many of you that have a really big nice house would want a small house community coming right next door to you?
Yeah.
It might decrease the value of your home. You might be worried about the types of folks that come there.
Yep.
But you gotta also realize that though folks are struggling, they're folks just like me and you.
Sure.
And so the majority of people,
everybody has problems.
Neighbors. Sorry to tell a personal story, but my dad started a homeless shelter in Jefferson County, Samaritan House, and Appalachian Outreach. He started Appalachian Outreach, which is a home repair ministry in about 4 or 5 county areas. So I kind of grew up around that, working with those things. But it's funny because he lives in a neighborhood, not quite an HOA neighborhood, but a nice neighborhood.
Sure.
And the land, Samaritan House wanted to move in, nearby, and so he was dealing with that being a neighbor, and of course he was welcoming of that, but dealt with some of the folks in the neighborhood, having questions about that. They've since moved in and are wonderful neighbors for the community, and everyone's getting along great. But next to him there was a field, and the person with the field sold it to to Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, wow.
And so then smaller homes start popping up. And of course, there again, the neighborhood raised concerns. And I don't know what type of people are going to be coming in here. And since several of the houses have been built and everyone is getting along wonderfully, they're good neighbors, they're not having any kind of the issues that they anticipated. So I realized that, it's a struggle for people. And I asked myself, if just because like we had a field behind our house, I like big open spaces. Would I want a whole bunch of little houses coming in, behind me? So I get it. But I
There's
think
when
it comes to helping people in need, it starts with the change in all of our hearts, including mine, to change, to be able to realize that people need a space to live, to exist, to do daily life. And
Habitat for Humanity.
I think that's where we start. Yeah.
Habitat for Humanity, they do a really good job when they pick their families that they're going to help. I mean, you have to contribute in helping someone else. I mean, there's a lot to it. We actually had a family that the gentleman worked here. It was Steve Rohde. He worked here. He passed away since, but Habitat for Humanity built them a home. This has been years ago, 2 decades ago or better. And so I got very familiar with all of that because Steve was here every day. And so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of my mentors in the ministry had a Habitat house.
It's a tremendous thing. It's a tremendous thing that they do.
It is, and while we're on the subject, maybe I didn't talk to these agencies before I come on the radio to talk about such things. But I was interested to hear that there's another need in our community, which I had not realized was as big, but it involves Habitat, and that is that for home repair in our community, we don't really have an agency specifically for only home repair in our community. There's Mountain Outreach, which actually my dad started up in Williamsburg at Cumberland College, University of the Cumberland.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so that kind of dips close to this area, but not exactly. The only one that we have that specifically does home repair ministry is ADFAC. They have a division. Of course, they do a lot of other things.
Yes.
But they have a division for home repair, and then Habitat actually, at least for a while, they were doing some home repair in addition to the home building.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And so every now and again, I reach out to those two agencies and I say, how can we help? Can we do a construction project? And then we'll do that through the church.
We used to have a few guys at the church that did that.
Yeah. There was the Noah trailer that had little small home repairs and changing light bulbs and different things for
like that.
Ramps and stuff. But so recently, within this year, I was talking to them, and they said that Habitat has such a long list for housing, and they're so, really overwhelmed with the need that they've had to stop their repairs, at least for now. And so they're not doing them. That leaves only ADFAC. And reason I was looking into it was we had a lady call the church and was, her floor was falling in on her. She was elderly and sick and couldn't fix it. And so we asked her, was she on the ADFAC list? And she was. She'd been on there for about 2 years almost.
Oh, wow.
It was either 1 year or 2 year. I can't remember. But so then I called them and they said, yeah, our waiting list is pretty long right now. And they were having some funding issues, as a lot of the nonprofits, a lot of the helping agencies are having some funding issues from just governmental things that are changing and such. But they, ADFAC often would we have a lot of codes and building permits and different things that are very strict in this county compared to, say, Jefferson County or, Granger County, where I was more used to doing home repair ministry. And so they would just be hiring professionals, if somebody had a plumbing issue, of course, if they had, but often just hiring professionals to go out and fix people's houses. Well, now that funding is an issue, they're looking at trying to do more volunteer-based services to houses, and have hired a volunteer coordinator and different things like that. And so I think that as they get organized, we're going to see a need for more volunteer groups to help do some of the home repair. And you can start, I don't know, I have a dream that you could start advertising, and churches would send mission groups to this area. Perhaps we could put them up somewhere or something. And then they would be serving Anderson County. I used to.
Samaritan's Purse, don't they do that outside of disaster relief and stuff too? They go in and I thought that they
probably
did.
do. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard of them working so much in our county, but
no, I haven't either.
But other communities. I've heard of similar things like that. But when we used to take mission trips as a church, we used to go and you sleep on the floor of a church or something like that. And we've often wanted to provide that service. But then I thought, why would anybody come to Anderson County? Why would a mission group want to come to Anderson County unless they're on their way somewhere else? And then I asked myself, why not?
Yeah,
we have needs. Why not would they want to come here? And so it's a dream. I know it's a lot of complications in that dream to being able to help folks in this way, but hopefully eventually we'll get there.
Well, as a resource fair offers something for everybody, and no matter what the need is, maybe even if it's not represented there, somebody there will know and be able to guide you or to point you in the right direction toward whatever it is you need.
That's what I think. Sometimes people will call and I don't know, but I know folks that do know, and I can call them and I can ask them. And maybe you heard that list and you think there's really nothing on there that meets the need that I have, but you could go and you ask them, and they will often know where's your best bet for finding
networking. That's a great networking opportunity for the actual for the folks that are there providing the services, but also for folks that may be in, whether it be the ministry or whether it be just a helping, you're in the helping folks business, be good to have.
Oh, absolutely.
17th from 12 until 2:30 at First Baptist Church in the Family Life Center. Yeah. Free food, kids games, all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah. And if you see the banners around, we've got the theme, the more you know, the more love you show. Just emphasizing that idea that the more we know about community resources, the more we're able to show love to our neighbors in need. And so that is our theme.
All right. And I've got the email address. We'll put all this up on the website, too. I think I put it up earlier when you sent me the first press release, but we'll get it back up there and make sure it's prominently displayed. So get folks out. Anything else that we want folks to know about it? Anything that you can think of that we've missed, not covered?
I think we've covered a lot. It just if anybody wants to help volunteer, we've given that information. If a helping agency still wants to get in and be represented, I'll still try to get you in on the floor. You can contact us in the exact same
Where are you
way.
getting all the tables?
Actually, that's one of the things I looked at our church. We have a lot of tables,
that's
just
good.
In general, and so I thought, how can this serve the community? Well, but we've had to buy a few more along the line, and I've actually, if anybody has any access to some 6-foot tables, I'm always needing 6-foot rectangular tables. I've borrowed some from some folks around different places at different times, but sometimes I get there and they're the 8-foot tables, which throws off the floor diagram, and sometimes they're the really old, heavy wooden 8-foot tables. And then we're loading them into trucks, and I'm like, I don't know. But the 6-foot, lighter plastic ones, we're always looking for a resource because we end up at least being probably 10, 15 short, and so I'm having to scramble to find those. So, if anybody has any ideas they haven't thought about, where we can borrow some.
Okay.
Let me know. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming up. I do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it.
I hope that we're able to draw some attention to what you're doing and get some folks maybe the help that they need, or at least educate people in case they need it. You never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah. And I wanted to mention, we're so grateful for the opportunity to promote, the resource fair, but we have y'all as a friend of the fair, and we have,
I love it. Thank you.
We have that opportunity on the website. There's a friend of the fair page, but also at the event there's a poster that has people that support the resource fair, whether that's a trade in advertising, maybe a newspaper does an article for free and we put them as a friend of the fair, but also, anybody who donates money, perhaps you want to buy a prize, so that we can get one of the public housings to have a raffle, for a food gift card. Anybody that wants to support the fair, we can trade you out for being a friend of the fair.
That's fantastic.
Page, yeah.
Same thing. They just reach out to you, email or reach out to you at the church.
Same thing, yeah. And say what you'd like to offer, and we'll look at doing that. So.
And the number of the church, 865-457-9353. You can go to acresourcefair.com.
acresourcefair.com.
Okay, good. Get the information there, too. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right, guys, we'll call it a day here this morning. If you have any questions, you can call me here, and I can either hopefully answer them for you or get you to someone that can answer them for you if you have any further questions about the resource fair. Again, it's August 17th, noon to 2:30 at First Baptist Church Family Life Center. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in tomorrow and ask your neighbor. Or email from our website. It's Ask Your Neighbor. Thanks for listening.
America became the best country on God's green earth? We made things, from automobiles to airplanes to textiles. We were the manufacturing epicenter of the world, the innovators that every other country turned to. I'm Katie Lyon, co-founder of Allegiance Flag Supply, and I'm here to tell you that the American spirit is alive and well at Allegiance, where we make American flags 100% in America. When you fly your American flag from Allegiance Flag Supply, you're not just honoring our country. You're supporting American men and women who proudly make the highest quality American flags, period. True patriots who put care into every stitch. See our full story at showallegiance.com and learn about our 100% American-based